On news as reported September 21, 2007, USA Today. This article on the editorial page by Al Newhart. I'm never sure about Al's name, how it should be said. Makes pretty clear where the owner feels we are on the war. The Congress is debating. Bush is dictating. We're not getting anywhere very fast, in my opinion. And I'll get back to his here in a minute. As you probably know, if you've read many or listened to many of these tapes I've made, I was against the Iraq War, for going in after bin Laden, you bet. But on that Iraq thing, I even talked to the veterans in the 325th Army reunion before we actually went in, when Bush was promoting it, selling it, trying to convince us that it was right. I talked to the fellow veterans, and oh, was it quiet, chilly. The guys aren't rude to me, but there was no question. If I'd undressed in front of them, they wouldn't have been any more dismayed. Most of the boys have done quite well, particularly the ones that are healthy enough to live long enough and to get to those reunions. And they're pretty much on the Republican side of the situation. As the president says it, it's got to be right. Just like my favorite, one of my favorites, grandson-in-law's, that he is sure that if President Bush is for it, it's got to be right. Well, I'd made my pitch on the basis that, we don't do preemptive war. But I guess we do, and it is do, because Mr. Bush went into that as preemptive war, all those weapons of mass destruction that we needed to protect ourselves from. We all know how that turned out. Well, I can't pronounce Al's name right, but I'll tell you what, he says it with more grace, more skill, a lot better than I could ever do it, so I'm going to read most of his article. This week, Congress began debating another sad stay-the-course strategy for Iraq. 5 years ago, October the 4th, 2002, I wrote, I'm quoting now, of course, I wrote in this column, Congress is debating, but President Bush and his hawkish cohorts are demanding a virtual blank check to wage war on Iraq. They'll probably get it. That's a mistake. Now he's saying, make no mistake. Saddam Hussein, he's quoting himself from then. Make no mistake, Saddam Hussein is a bad guy, but there is no real evidence that he has stockpiled weapons of mass destruction, least of all that he is about to use them if he has any. Suspicions? Yes. Evidence? No. The President and Vice President Cheney, neither of whom has been on the firing line in war, are hell-bent on firing away at Iraq. Inspections or verifications of suspicions be damned. They resent having Congress or the United Nations or the press or the public questioning their military wisdom or their possible political motives. Before you question mine, I'm reading Al's statement. These credentials. Politically, I'm a registered independent. I vote for the person, not the party. Militarily, when it comes to war, I've been there. 3 years in the infantry in World War II. Served in Europe and the Pacific. Brought home a Bronze Star. Those experiences made me agree with Civil War General William Tecumseh Sherman, who said, "War is hell." If you're attacked, of course, you fight back with all your might. That's why Bush was right in going after Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden in Afghanistan after 9/11. But he strayed from that unaccomplished mission to his misadventure in Iraq. Congress should stop funding that folly and bring our troops home sooner rather than later. While Congress continues debating, the President keeps dictating. In Bush talk, that dog won't hunt for me. God bless you, Al. How nicely you stated what I can't understand that America as a whole doesn't get through its head. We're not going to win. You can't win. You keep sacrificing the blood of our young. And in the end, we lose, we lose, we lose. We better cut our losses and start rebuilding the strength of this country. We're overreached, and overreached for a very, very foolish cause. God bless America. God bless you, President. Get on your knees and seek holy guidance. Amen.